Hey guys, welcome to the secret history living inside of your aquarium. I want to show you these Danios here once more. They move quick, but they're the blue ones. And these are called either firebar Danios or Maetangensis. Now, they're not from the Maetan River, actually. They are from an area in Shan, which is an area that I love. That's where CPDs and my rummy nose rasboras, a lot of rasboras, and a lot of Danios come from. Here's a male, just kind of, I mean, they're really beautiful when you get the color reflecting off them just right in the right light. Natural light, they have bronze, blue, and orange, and purple all kind of colored in there. And the females have a large belly. You see the belly on her? Well, so a couple weeks ago, so now that you know what the adults look like, a couple weeks ago, I started a project. This tank here, you might have noticed that I had videos on boiling leaves. So I boiled some maple leaves, and to show you those, over here in the shrimp tank, we've put all the excess leaves. But just imagine a tank similar to this without all the plants. And this is a 5-gallon tank over here. Now, in this 5-gallon, all we have is a heater and some filtration in the form of a little sponge slash ever so small canister sponge medium filter or corner bottom filter. After this, so I took the adults. I have been feeding this tank up here. I've been feeding them live worms and then also bloodworms. But you see the quick moving one? That's the female who still has eggs. I didn't think they were having eggs because I had the females in this net and the males in this net. And before that, I had the males and females actually split amongst the tank up here and the tank down here. And so I kept them apart so they couldn't physically breed, and then put them together so that the females were in here, the males were here. They exchange pheromones, they kind of get used to each other, get excited for a day, and then that day I feed them live food, a really good feeding amount of it. And imagine that the leaves are still here, so they're hiding under the duff of the leaves. And the pH in here is about 4.5 or 5. And you can see the water looks like tea. And how I've been taking care of this tank is I have this extra water left over from when I boiled those leaves. So when I boiled those leaves, I killed a lot of the beneficial bacteria, and I needed a tank that was cycled in order to get bacteria onto those leaves again. And so I took from my shrimp tank a turkey baster, and I just don't want you guys to get dizzy when I turn, so that's why I'm covering as I turn. I simply took the turkey baster, and I got little critters like seed shrimp and algae and stuff like that's floating around in here. I got these little guys. They just look like little specks to you guys, I'm sure. But I got them into the other tank. You can see the white dots over on the wall moving. So that put some food sources in, and then along with the worms and also vinegar eels, which I also made a recent video on. The vinegar eels are in here, and they're hard to see. You probably won't see them on film. They just look like little specks, little discolorations in the water. But I've been feeding them vinegar eels, and I let them out together late that night after I had them all day together in the pen, but not together, not touching physically. And then I actually spilled out the pen and took it, set it aside, let them hang out in the duff for 3 days together in the leaves, and nothing happened. And I was disappointed. Water's about 78 degrees. What I've been doing is I started with the water filled about this high, if you can see, a little bit above half, 60%. And then each day I would add about a cup of this out of another water bottle I had of this rich in tannin water, and I would take about a pint or of water out of here. So just a little bit of water out, but swap it out with the tannic water, slowly making the acidity go higher. Also, I did not wash the vinegar eel substance. This is 50% apple cider vinegar and 50% water. And that vinegar actually is acidic and also help change the water slowly even to more acidic. Now, doing this for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, finally the tank starts getting filled. And the last top off from about here, so the last quarter of the tank, I filled it with water that was 10 degrees colder than the 78 or 80 degree water that was in here. I filled it with about 68 or 70 degree water from the tap, dechlorinated. And that makes the fish feel like there's been a rainstorm. The other thing I did, this cage is in the way because we have another project going that I'll tell you about another time here. But I also put a little flow head on the pump and made it so the water was a little bit turbid. And that makes them think that their little river or creek or puddle has overflown and that they are having babies. It's the time to have babies because they're going to swim away downstream and they'll spread their species all over the place. And so I let them go in here. Nothing happened. I was really bummed. I thought, what could I do differently? Well, I didn't do anything differently. I just tried one more time. Thought maybe they weren't ready. And the other day, after 2 days of them being in there together, male and female, and that slow introduction process, I ended up noticing that there were these little, incredibly teeny fry in this tank. And I mean, I am talking incredibly teeny. And there's quite a few of them, which is nice. The female still has a belly on her, which surprises me. And I don't know yet. They don't seem to have yolk sacs. They seem to be bigger than yolk sac little wigglers, but they are so small. You can see them here. They are so incredibly small. And these are those Maetangensis firebar or blue striped Danio. They're called firebar because their back has a bronze stripe, and then they have kind of orange stripes in between, like blue or purple. But now we've got little critters, little baby fish hanging out, fry, and it seems like they skipped the yolk stage, or it is possible that they actually were born the first time and I missed them because they were so small. To give you an idea of how small these shrimp are, or these sorry, I'm so used to breeding shrimp. These fish are, this is one of the largest ones, and this is 10-point font. So about the size of a letter D. About as tall as a letter D is in 10-point font on your paper is the biggest one, and there's some half his size or her size, or probably her. So that's where we're at right now. I will be continuing to feed them the seed shrimp using a baster out of the other tank, the little white floaty creatures, and then I will also be giving them these worms when they get larger. These are feeding their adults, these white worms. Right now, they're probably too small for vinegar eels, so they're eating white worms. Not white worms. They're eating seed shrimp and little copepods that are in the water. And I basically gave them this little dome as a place to escape to if the adults are reintroduced. But I'm seeing more and more of these fish appear every day. Or, I found them yesterday. But yesterday, 12 hours later, and now 12 hours again, and there's more and more of them appearing all over the place. You can see some back there in the back of the tank. And it's just a 5 gallon, so you can see how small those really are. But those are the blue, these guys right here, these Danios. Maetangensis Danios. Now we're also trying with the Samfong rasboras, and I'm going to let them out in about a week, but hopefully they'll have some eggs which will fall through that net even. They're very small. And we'll have both in there at the same time, a very, very young, small fish. So, that's what's going on right now. Here's a big old pregnant female. I don't know if she's the one who had the babies, but I'm guessing it was the other female. And this light is not doing them justice, but they are a beautiful fish. Very subtle in color and very opalescent. So that's basically how I got them to breed. Just required a 5 gallon tank, honestly, and you could keep them in there as long as you kept the adults in the pen for about a month afterwards, if you had 3 adults or something. That's not the nicest way to keep them, but in a pinch you could do it. Now we'll see if I can get these little teeny fish to survive. I'm not breeding baby brine shrimp right now. I'm gonna try another way using little golden pearls, they're called, but actually using the water out of my shrimp tanks that have not had fish in them for over a year, and they've really got a rich life of these little teeny critters when you look under the microscope. Plankton, both zooplankton and phytoplankton. So that is the plan. I will keep you guys updated, but hopefully we end up with 20 or 40 or however many of these little fry of this endangered fish endemic to Lake Inle and parts of Thailand, and sounds like Cambodia also. There may be some in the, I think it's Maping or Maping River. So it's just a small little river tributary. Alright guys, as always, please like, subscribe to find out how this goes, and I will talk to you later. Take care of yourselves and your critters, and I'll see you on the next episode. Comment if you'd like to see me breed anything else in this black water also sometime soon. Alright, bye.